We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Our guest this morning is Holly Ladd. She is a health coach. It says health coach there. What exactly does that mean?
So, health coach, we help people, guide people towards their goals, their health and wellness goals.
All right. It's multifaceted. It's not just weight loss.
It's not just weight loss. In fact, weight loss is a very small percentage of it. It's actually living healthier and looking at what you want to do down the road. So, for example, I work with a lot of middle-aged folks that have kids who are starting to have grandkids. And they realize, you know, I want to be able to play with my grandkids. So I want to get healthier so that I can play with them and have the energy to keep up with these little rugrats. So we look at their lifestyle, and it's diet, it's stress management, it's fulfillment in your career, life, spirituality, it's exercise, it's so many things that create well-being. And so we sort of look at all the areas in their life, and they determine sort of where they want to work, where they want to put their energy, and then we come up with a plan together to get them to where they want to be.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Now, and by the way, when you talk about weight loss, and we always bring that up, and you're right, that should just be a small facet. Can we establish that there are people who are larger, okay? And that is a healthy state of being for them.
Absolutely.
Because that is their true nature one way. I don't mean being obese or something, but in society these days, so much emphasis is put on, you know, are you thin? Are you, you know, and there's plenty of people I know who are thin that are just in awful health. Oh,
there's a term called skinny fat.
Yeah, okay. Which
is unhealthy skinny people. I mean, there are people that are blessed with high metabolisms or whatever that can eat. We all have a friend that can eat whatever they want and they don't ever gain weight.
McDonald's every day. There's someone here at the station every day for dinner, and he is lean as can be. Now, I don't know cholesterol-wise what this is doing to him, but I mean, it's genetics, perhaps.
But then you look at them, if you actually ran blood work and tested them, they may have pre-metabolic syndrome, pre-diabetes, fatty liver syndrome. There's all sorts of stuff that's going on underneath the surface beyond just putting on fat.
Okay, so someone who has a higher body mass index, that maybe if you were to look at, say, well, that person's a bit heavy, but if they carry it well, and that is just their genetic way of being, you accept it for that's how you're most comfortable, and you're fine and you're healthy.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, because there's so much emphasis. Every day you turn on the TV, the commercials, the magazines, or the things online where people, obviously a lot of them are airbrushed to look better than they do.
Absolutely.
And so then you're trying to aspire to these beauty standards, especially women. Have you encountered anyone before who's come to you has been anorexic or bulimic?
I have not worked with anybody on that spectrum.
Okay, but you just wonder, there's as much of that's physical as mental, correct?
Completely.
On dealing with something like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just wondering, when you work with your clients then, are you addressing the mental aspect of what they're doing as well? Is it
absolutely?
Yes. Okay, how do you do that though? I mean, you can tell them, okay, run this, jog this, lift these weights, eat this. What's the mental approach? And I don't think I've ever asked you that before.
No,
how do you get them to mentally be on board?
That's the most complicated nut to crack right there.
Now, if they come to you, they're already, I think, open to making changes, right? So that's the good thing.
Yes, most people who are going to pay to see me, because it costs money to see me, are at the place where they're like, I have to do something. But we all have patterns and we all have habits, and we can go so far and then we'll have a setback, and then all of a sudden we're off the, we had all these great intentions and we started great, and then all of a sudden we're eating Oreo cookies and drinking Diet Coke again.
Right.
So it's really sort of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and I work with people to really ask them a lot of questions and have them go deep inside themselves and get to the real reason why they do what they do and how that affects their life. And we cry, we laugh, we bring up good things, bad things. We look at their positive traits and how they can use their strengths to get to the next step. So, yeah, I mean, it's the mental part is sometimes the hardest.
Right. So you deal with that first sometimes, or
it depends on the client.
Yeah, it depends on the client.
Yeah.
But you get the mental, because then they need to stick with it. Can you talk about this? And I don't want to harp too much on weight loss, but I do know some people that were trying to lose weight because of their joints. They've had knee replacement and all this. hitting the plateau, what does that mean? When you initially maybe go on some type of diet, if you will, and you lose some weight within the first 2 weeks or whatever. And then they hit that plateau and they stop losing for a while. Talk about that and how you beat and get past it.
What I think happens is that our metabolism adjusts to our new lifestyle, and it either slows down or it speeds up, or it speeds up at first and then it slows. So it's constantly readjusting to where you are.
Right.
So you have to keep making changes to keep losing weight, and it may not be eat less and less and less. That's not the answer. I mean, the old sort of theory, eat less, move more, is incorrect in weight loss.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you're eating enough of the right stuff, and balancing your eating and movement. And it's also stress and sleep, and all these things come into weight loss. And the plateau, I believe, is just the body's resting and kind of dealing with its new self. And then it will start to take off.
Because that's when people quit sometimes.
Right.
They'll say they're trying everything and it's not working. They can't get past it. They were so excited the first 2 or 3 weeks, which sometimes is, depending on what you're doing, a lot of lost water.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not the muscle or fat or whatever it is you're trying to lose, right?
Right, and that's why I encourage people to work with me for 6 months, because it's a process, and it's something that's not, you don't want to lose a lot of weight in 3 weeks. It's not going to be sustainable. You know, it's fine to jumpstart it, but then, 1 to 2 pounds a week is great.
And that's where you make a lifestyle change. It's got to be that way permanently. All right, listen, we need to take a break on that note. When we come back, if you want to join in the conversation, 737-7587. Our guest with us this morning is a health coach talking about, how are you going to stay healthy into the new year? Or maybe you're not healthy now, and how do you become healthy in the new year? We'll get into all of that with our guest right after this. Stay with us.